Yo, what's up? It's your boy Dizzy, and we back with another episode of Halftime with Dizzy, man. Appreciate y'all tuning in. The first thing you may be wondering is, why is this nigga wearing a robe? Well, you're either watching this the day before, the day of, or the day after Thanksgiving. I wanted to give you a clear picture of what the Diz was going to be like on Thanksgiving. Chilling in my robe, scratching my nuts, watching football, talking football, eating good food. I hope you guys have a great Thanksgiving, whether it's happening tomorrow, if you're watching this on the day this video comes out, or if you're watching this day of Thanksgiving, or maybe Thanksgiving's already passed. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Either way, we're going to talk some football, man. I'm going to try not to take a lot of y'all time. Let's get right into the game plan. We're going to start with the halftime headlines, of course. I had to cover the Bears-Steelers game this past weekend, and I walked away wondering, are the Steelers more contenders or pretenders? We're going to talk about that a little bit, and then we got to talk about Shedeur Sanders' first start and how he got the win over the Raiders, man. And you know what? Take the game plan off for a quick minute, man. I gotta be real, all right? Was a little reluctant to talk about this. Cause, Beyonce got the bees and Taylor Swift got the Swifties, Nicki Minaj got the barbs and shit. But I don't know if any of them compare to the fans Shedeur got. I mean, I say one thing about Shedeur and niggas lose their mind. That shit had me blown away, all right? But if there's anything that one of my favorite movies, Straight Outta Compton, has taught me, it's that
all publicity is good publicity. You know it.
So I could give a fuck about what anybody has to say. You think a little comment is gonna stop me from giving my opinion? Hell nah, twin. Let's get to the rest of the game plan, all right? It's Thanksgiving, like I said, so I'm gonna give you a top 5. My favorite Thanksgiving foods, all right? We're gonna have a good laugh and look at some clips on Flag on the Play. I'm gonna tell you who was different this past weekend on He's Diffy. I'm gonna give you some predictions, and of course, the halftime speech to wrap it all up, man. Outside of that, again, man, we getting closer and closer to the end of the football season, and my goal is 350 subs by then. Please, please, please hit that subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I hope you get a good laugh and or learn a thing or two about the game of football, man. If you're not new to the channel, I appreciate you, man. I appreciate all your love and support, constantly watching me, man, hearing me ramble about football, about the sport that I love, man. Please hit that like, hit that subscribe button, share this video with everybody, anybody you know that loves football and just loves to have a good laugh, have a good time, and share it with people that you know love and hate Shedeur Sanders, because we're going to get into it, all right? Like I said, I had to cover the game between the Bears and the Steelers this past weekend, man. The Steelers came up a bit short. They lost 31-28 without Aaron Rodgers, okay? So it was a close game despite not having Aaron Rodgers. But either way, I walked away and I'm asking myself, are the Steelers true contenders in the AFC, or are they just some pretenders, man? Now, earlier in the season, I said this about the Steelers. A lot of people were going crazy. Aaron Rodgers is back, vintage Rodgers, all this stuff, and acting like now the Steelers are some Super Bowl contender. And I'm just going to say real quick, man, pump the brakes, all right? But I think that this is just another Mike Tomlin team that is going to be the same as they were or as they've been for the last decade, and that's just making the playoffs, winning season. Of course, we're gonna sit here and go crazy about how Mike Tomlin still hasn't had a losing season, but they're gonna lose in the first round, and we're gonna wonder what they're doing next year. And I'm doubling down on that shit as we enter week 13 of the NFL season, all right? And again, I understand they didn't have their Hall of Fame quarterback in Aaron Rodgers under center when they played the Bears this past weekend. If they had him, maybe they win. They only lost by 3 points without him, so if they have Aaron Rodgers, maybe they win the game, all right? But I'm not saying this because of what this offense sucks at. I'm saying that they're going to be first round exits because of this defense, okay? This used to be a defense that was so elite that we used to say they're contenders if they have anybody with a pulse under center, because this defense is so good. They're letting up 2 touchdowns or less that the quarterback for the Steelers only has to go score 2 touchdowns, maybe a late field goal to win games. That's not the case no more. This defense lets up 24 points per game. They're at the bottom of the league in pass defense, middle of the pack when it comes to stopping the run. Statistically, they're bad at pretty much everything except for turnovers and sacks. And they're only good at those things because they have one of the best pass rushers of all time on their D-line. You take him off the defense, and this defense is being compared to Cincinnati and Dallas. And we know how bad those defenses are, okay? When you pair that with an offense that doesn't generate explosive plays, okay? They're not great when it comes to total offense statistically. You got a team that doesn't play great complementary football, okay? And when you don't have that, you will struggle to win big games, which is why I don't see them winning a playoff game and I don't see them going far. A lot of people sit there and look at Mike Tomlin and say maybe he's the issue, all right? I'm not willing to go that far, okay? And that's a whole other discussion that we can have another time. But after seeing this game and seeing how they struggled to get off the field on third downs, struggled to put up points when it really mattered, and struggled to get stops when it really mattered against this Caleb Williams-led Bears offense, I don't see the Steelers going far. I don't see them going past the first round, all right? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Let's move on to the next topic. Moving on to the guy that everybody's talking about after this past weekend, man. Shedeur Sanders.
They told me bust out my AP. Perfect time, man.
Picked up a win over the Raiders this past weekend, 24-10. The first quarterback in 30 years to win their first start for the Cleveland Browns. 11 for 20, 209 pass yards, a touchdown, and an interception. Here's how I feel after Shedeur's first start, man. It wasn't much different than any quarterback who's made their first start in the NFL. You saw flashes of how this guy can be a franchise guy and how you can build around him and he can lead you to victory in the future. But you also saw flashes of what he needs to improve on and how he's flawed and how he's just young. All right, young in the NFL, just his first start of his NFL career, man. And that's how he should be viewed. That's how he should be judged, okay? But instead, you guys proved me right in the comments and on Twitter and all types of shit y'all been saying over the weekend, man. You proved me right. There's going to be those who overly hate him, and there's going to be those who overly glaze him. The ones that overly hate him are sitting there just solely focusing on the interception and saying, well, he played the Raiders. Whoop-de-doo.
If we go to prison for the rest of our life, whoop-de-doo.
And you got those that just got his meat in their mouth, okay? And after his debut, were saying, welcome back, Tom Brady, okay? And y'all call me idiots after what I had to say last week, but y'all don't understand that I'm trying to help, okay? I want Shedeur to be judged as the football player, the quarterback, not hated because of what his last name is, not glazed because of what his last name is, hated because of who his father is, glazed because of who his father is, hated because he's black, glazed because he's a black king, all this stuff. No, leave all that stuff over there. Leave that stuff for the Shade Room and TMZ and all. Let's just talk ball, all right? Let's just judge him for the player and the quarterback he is and what we see on the film and what we see when he takes the field and when he's under center, man. I hope that makes sense, all right? Can we do that? Does that make sense? If it doesn't, I really don't care, all right? If I really cared about your opinion, I stick my hand up your ass and work your mouth like a puppet, all right?
Hey, you shut your face. If we want to hear you talk, I will shove my arm up your ass and work your mouth like a puppet. You hear me? You hear me?
So let's move forward when talking about Shedeur Sanders, man. Here's my opinion. This game against the San Francisco 49ers is the most important game of Shedeur Sanders' career. Now, they're all important, right? But this one in particular because you're going to be playing a better team than you played against the Raiders, okay? This defense, even though they're super banged up, they got better personnel and better coaching than the Raiders do. This offense, the same thing. Even though Brock Purdy was out there seeing ghosts against the damn Carolina Panthers, this offense is going to make this game a little bit more competitive than the Raiders did, okay? So you're going to be put in situations where it's a minute and a half left in the first half. You need a touchdown before halftime. Can Shedeur run the 2-minute offense and score a touchdown? You're going to be in a position where San Francisco seems to be having all the momentum. They're connecting on all cylinders offensively. You need a long drive, 10, 12, 15 play drive to keep their offense off the field, slow their momentum down, and also take some momentum of your own by scoring some points. Can Shedeur do that in those moments? Those are going to be questions that need to be answered. Deeper than that, all right, there's two reasons why I feel like this is so important. One, if you have a big-time performance, you will now kill all speculation of whether or not you are for sure the QB1. Now, of course, there's all types of people that believe those speculations should already be killed, but Your head coach obviously doesn't think so. He sits there and says it's still competition, still something they're evaluating, all this types of stuff. You want to go out there, have a crazy performance, and make Stefanski go into the press conference next week and say, that's our QB1 for the remainder of the season. Secondly, you want to kill any thoughts of your front office that's saying, we need to go get a quarterback in the 2026 draft that's going to have a ton of quarterbacks, okay? So I think that if Shedeur can go out there and put up a 250-plus yard performance with 2+ touchdowns, no interceptions, then it'll allow this coaching staff and this front office to say, that's not only our guy for the next few games, that's our guy for the future. And instead of trying to replace him, we're going to go out and build around him. That's why I think this game is so important for Shedeur. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Let's move on to the next topic. Top 5.
If you got a problem, take it up with my butt. He's the only one that gives a crap.
Like I said, it's Thanksgiving time, man. So I'm going to tell you my top 5 Thanksgiving foods, man. Starting with an honorable mention, all right? Mashed potatoes, all right? You know, they cool, all right? It's hard to mess those up, but, you know, it's one of those foods where it's like, if it's there, I'm going to put it on my plate. I'm going to eat it, all right? But I'm not going to trip if it's not there, if I don't see it on the Thanksgiving spread, all right? Not like I'm going to trip if one of these 5 items ain't there, all right? Starting with number 5. Some sort of roll or biscuit, all right? King's Hawaiian or some Pillsbury biscuits, man, I need that, all right? I need that every single time, all right? I'm going to go in there. First of all, I'm probably going to have me about 10 before we even say grace for the full meal, all right? That's first off. Second off, once I get it on my plate, I'm making myself a little Thanksgiving sandwich, all right? Throw all the items that I got on the plate with the roll. I'm going to throw it on there, sandwich it together, and I'm going to eat it, all right? You know what I'm saying? My back going to get a centimeter wider, but I'm going to feel so good, all right? Let's move on to number 4, all right? Turkey, all right? I'm not a big turkey fan, all right? But at the same time, you can't have Thanksgiving without it, all right? If you have Thanksgiving without turkey, it's just another fucking Thursday that niggas is just cramming in your living room for, all right? There's no point in having Thanksgiving if you ain't having to. There's nothing quite like Pops or somebody pulling the turkey out the oven or however you prepare your turkey and then unwrapping the foil and everybody going, ooh, look at that there. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. You have to have turkey there. I'm not a huge fan of turkey, but it is a necessity for Thanksgiving. Now, one year, my dad did turkey wings, all right? Them shits was banging, all right? Probably the best Thanksgiving meal I'd have never had to this day, all right? If that was everywhere and that was done every year, then turkey would be a lot higher on my list. But I know that that's not the case, so I'm going to put that right there at 4, all right? Moving to the top 3. Number 3, collard greens, bro. Woof. Give me some good collard greens, man. Dad know how to do it just right, too. The spice, you know what I'm saying? The juices. I don't eat vegetables for 364 days. Until Thanksgiving, and I know collard greens is gonna be made, all right? That shit gonna be on my plate every single time, all right? That I don't know if it was like the stem or the spine, whatever. Like, you know, like it's got the leaf and then the part in the middle, it gives you that little snap when you bite into it. Perfect, all right? It's perfect, all right? Collard greens is top 3 for me. Number 2, some pies, man. Specifically, another thing that my dad does very well, sweet potato pie, man. Another thing that I don't eat at all throughout the rest of the year. But on Thanksgiving, I better see some motherfucking sweet potato or pumpkin pie, all right? It just, again, another thing that just says holidays. It just says Thanksgiving when you just chilling on the couch watching football and you smell the cinnamon and the nutmeg and all types of spices that are putting into those pies, man. It caps off the feast and the eating that you did already. It just complements it so well, and it allows you to just say, I was really a fat ass today, all right? That's the cherry on top, some pie, all right? Number 1, you ain't seen it on the list already, so you should know what it is. Mac and cheese, boy. Mac and cheese, boy. I wish I could go back in time and give a kiss on the forehead to whoever thought to put some pasta shells with some cheese, all right? Now that ain't the only way we do it, all right? I don't want you to think that we bland over here, all right? Obviously, you got your cream and you got your spices, all right? Throw that thing in the oven, give it a little bit of crust. It's just the perfect combination of a crunch with some gooiness and cheesy. I mean, this shit is just banging, all right? 9 times out of 10, what I'm doing is I'm going up there, and on the first round, I'm doing a little bit of everything. On the second round, half my plate gonna be mac and cheese. If there's any left, all right? Half my plate gonna be mac and cheese. Mac and cheese I eat damn near every week. All right, the fuck just Thanksgiving. Every week I'm eating that motherfucker. Okay, those are my 5 favorite Thanksgiving foods. Maybe a little bit basic, but when basic is done right, that motherfucking banging. All right, we don't do, you know what I'm saying, cranberry sauce and fucking green bean casserole and all that shit over here. All right, we mainly just do those things, and that's all good with me. All right, let me know in the comments what your favorite Thanksgiving food is, man. Let's move on to the next topic.
Flag on the play.
They wind up losing 14 yards.
How about from now on you call a fair game? How's that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay. Wet Willie.
First up on flag on the play, man. Did y'all see this ref that had to be carted off in the game last week?
Oh! Somebody! Oh! He needs some milk!
My leg!
I'm telling you, bro. Y'all old heads that be thinking y'all can still do young shit, y'all better cut it out. Y'all better cut it out. Y'all better go sit at a desk or something, because you out there thinking you can still run around with these young football players and your ass popping Achilles and hamstrings and all types of shit, man. Let's move on to the next clip. I mean, wow. Yeah, that was funny. But do y'all remember my conversation about coaches, man? This is the shit I'm talking about. These are the type of people that are coaching these young men, man. And then y'all wonder why when they get to high school, college, NFL, and they ain't got no home training, they ain't got no discipline, they over here talking all crazy. This is who's leading them growing up, all right? This is who's trying to teach them how to be men growing up. Nigga doing a fucking somersault because the little kid ain't catch the ball. I bet you it was probably his son. I bet you that's why he was so turned up. It was probably his son, all right? Probably didn't score all year, and he designed a play for him, wide open, drops it, and now the nigga mad, all right? Now the nigga back hurt when he going home, all right? That was just ridiculous. All right, let's move on to the last clip of flag on the play.
Lead with a touchdown. Noonkester catches the punt. It's a short one. It hits a Florida State player on the helmet and rolls backwards. Scramble for the ball. Who's got it? I think it's going to be the punter that recovered it.
Remember when I said Coach Norvell getting fired? That's a cherry on top right there. That's a cherry on top right there. Hope y'all had a good laugh, man. Let's move on to He's Diffy.
Wide open man. Flipped into the end zone by Jerome Simpson. Oh, goodness.
First up on He's Diffy, my boy Ryan's favorite player in college football, man, Diego Pavia, quarterback for Vanderbilt. And I must admit, if he was in the Heisman race, this was definitely his Heisman game right here. Let me read this off. He had 532 of Vandy's 604 total yards in the win over Kentucky. He had 5 of their 6 touchdowns. That's different right there. That's literally putting the team on your back and getting it done for your squad, man. Shout out to him. Next up on the list, Joe Fagnano. Stop. Okay, stop. That's his name, all right? Look it up. That's his name. 446 pass yards, 3 touchdowns, and a 3-point win over FAU. Hey, UConn's 9-3. With Jim Moore as their head coach. It may be time to bring that boy back to LA, all right, if he turned the programs around like that. All right, lastly, on He's Diffy, man. I hate that I have to do this, but, man, got to give credit where it's due. Cowboys wide receiver George Pickens, man, 9 for 146 and a touchdown and a comeback win over the Eagles, man. As much as I can't stand Cowboy fans, their play is all right? George Pickens, he's been balling all year and slowly climbing up the ranks in terms of the best receivers in the NFL, and he's certainly earned himself a big bag this offseason, man. Pavia, Fagnano, Pickens, man, those guys were different this past weekend. Let's move on to some predictions.
One thing.
First up on the predictions, man, CIF championship between Corona Centennial and Santa Margarita. The first time, and I don't even know how long, that the D1 championship is not going to have Mater Dei or St. John Bosco, man. I got Centennial winning this game. I think they got the firepower and the hunger to do it. They knocked off Mater Dei twice. Most teams can't do it once. Centennial did it twice. Santa Margarita also beat them earlier this year, but I think Centennial has the guys to pull this one off, man. Let's move on. Usually I do college then NFL, but I'm going to start with the NFL since I'm just going to do the Thanksgiving slate. The Packers are going down to Detroit to take on the Lions. That's the first game of the day. I got the Lions winning that game. This is not the same Packers team that played them in week 1. This isn't the same Lions team that played in week 1. The Lions look a lot better offensively. They're more stout defensively, and the Packers have been shaky on both sides of the ball for the last few weeks. I got the Lions win this game at home. Next up, the Chiefs going down to Dallas to take on the Cowboys, man. I think it's going to come down to who can get a stop first, and personally, I trust Spagnuolo and the Chiefs defense more than I trust this Dallas Cowboys defense. Give me the Chiefs to win this game on the road. And lastly, the game that I think can be the game of the week, the game of the day at the very least, Baltimore and Cincinnati taking on each other in an AFC North rivalry showdown, man. It's Joe Burrow's first game back since being injured, man, way back when. I think it was like week 2 or 3 that he got hurt. He's back now under center for the Bengals. Jamar Chase is back after Ash cashing on Jalen Ramsey. I got the Bengals, man. I think Joe Burrow going to come out with some shit, bro. He going to come out with something a little different, all right? And I think what makes this game great as well, also not the rivalry, but the fact that the Ravens are so desperate for a win because they need it for their playoff hopes. But I think Joe Burrow's going to come into town and show them, you know, this is what y'all been missing for the last few weeks, man. Joe Burr. All right, that's my predictions for the NFL Thanksgiving slate, man. Let's move on to college where we got some rivalries, starting with arguably the biggest one in the sport, Ohio State, Michigan. I got Ohio State winning this game, all right? And I know that's not a crazy pick. It could be because Ohio State seems to only lose to Michigan, but I got them winning this game because Michigan's a bit banged up, specifically at the running back position. I think if you want to keep this offense from running up the scoreboard, you got to keep them off the field, and you got to do that by running the ball effectively, and they're down to their 3rd and 4th and 5th string running backs. I don't know if Michigan will be able to be successful offensively with Bryce Underwood, who, you know, shows you in a lot of ways that he is a true freshman and a lot of things that he does. And I just don't think he'll be ready. Not quite yet. He will be next year and for years to come, but not this year. I think Ohio State reclaims supremacy in the rivalry and wins that matchup, man. Next up, the Iron Bowl between Alabama and Auburn. I got Alabama winning this game. You know, kind of the same thing. I don't think Auburn has enough to stop Alabama's offense. They don't have enough to stop their defense. I mean, Alabama gets after it, man. And when you consider that there's so much on the line as well with the SEC championship game, if Alabama loses, they could be out of the playoffs, okay, after losing to Oklahoma last week. So I think Alabama needs the win, and they're going to get the win, all right? Lastly, come on, baby. You know what time it is. UCLA heading down to the Coliseum. Take on USC, coming off a loss to Oregon. I got UCLA by knockout, nigga. UCLA gonna put that belt to that ass, and we gonna win, baby. We gonna take that victory bell. You already know what time it is. 4 is up, baby. And when we do, you best believe we 8 clapping, all right? I ain't gonna do it now. I'm gonna save it. But next week, you know what time it is, right? Those are my predictions for this weekend, man. Let me know what y'all think. Let's move on to the halftime speech.
The Cinderella story is over, man. Right? They're fighting for clicks, we're fighting for wins. There's a difference. Right? There's a difference.
I'm hurt, dog. Don't ask me if I'm all right. Hell no. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it. I'm putting my heart in this, dog. Let's go, man. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Lose this one inside your heart and find out who you really are. Make sure you look at your teammate today and you come out and you give pure hell today. This team ain't ready for us. Let's prove that they ain't ready for us. Oh, get in here. Let's go. Get in here right now. Get in here. Hey, we got 30 minutes for the rest of our lives. 30 minutes for the rest of our lives.
Halftime speech, man. You already know the drill. A little nugget to help you get through the rest of your day. week, month, year, wherever you at in life, man. Right now, where we at in life, it's Thanksgiving, like I said, man, or at least the week of. You might be watching this the day before, the day of, the day after. Either way, Thanksgiving is somewhere near, okay? And all I'm gonna say is something that I'm sure you guys are already hearing and already thinking about, man. Just be thankful, and think about the things that you have to be thankful for, man. A lot of people sit there and think about all the things they don't have and wish they had, and oh, I wish I was here, I wish I was there, I wish I had this, I wish I had that. Man, we got to just be thankful of what we have, man. Even if it's just the simple fact that we woke up this morning, man, and got a roof over our head, got clothes on our back, got food in our stomach, man. We got to be thankful for that, because at the end of the day, we can be here one day and gone the next. That's just a sad reality of life. And so while we're here, we got to appreciate everything that we have. Tell someone you love them. Tell someone you're thankful for them, man. I do want to say I'm thankful for each and every one of you. It's such a motivating and encouraging thing when, I post these videos and I see a lot of you in person, and you sit there and tell me, that I'm doing a good job, or you just simply comment on my post or like this video, whatever the case may be, man. You guys don't understand how encouraging and how motivating, humbling all that stuff is, man. And I'm just so grateful. I'm so thankful for everyone in my life. I'm thankful for my family, my parents, my brothers, my beautiful girlfriend, all my family and friends, man. I appreciate and love every single one of you, and I hope you have a very happy Thanksgiving, man. That's all I got, man. Stay tuned. I have another video for you real soon.
Can I get you?